Hey everybody, it's TJ DeSantis here in the Fight Pass studios. I hope you're all doing wonderful this evening. We're kicking off something here, part of Extra Rounds, that I've wanted to do for a while. The UFC Fight Pass library, it's big, it's intimidating, it's hard to navigate, and we thought, hey, what if we gave it out in a little bit of a capsule? And that's what we're going to do here. And we're looking back at the year 2000, 25 years ago, when the UFC was pretty much this niche, unique little underground thing. We're breaking it down, and I'm going to basically play a fight from every single fight card that took place in the year 2000. And we're going to start with my favorite fighter to watch fights. I also like watching him fight as well. Little Evil, Jens Pulver, the host of the UFC Watch Along. We're going to go back and look at his fight in the UFC with David Velasquez. It kicks off what we're calling Fight Capsule from Extra Rounds right here on UFC Fight Pass.
The 25-year-old Jens Pulver against David Velasquez, 33 years old, both weighing in at an identical 157 pounds. To get our evening officially started, let's go inside the octagon, working his 15th UFC, the veteran voice of the octagon,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Buffer.
We are live from the Civic Center Arena in Lake Charles, Louisiana! Our first fight is a lightweight fight consisting of 3 5-minute rounds, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a submission fighter who is making his octagon debut, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 157 pounds. Fighting out of Maryville, California, please welcome David Velasquez! And his opponent, standing to my right, he is a freestyle fighter with a mixed martial arts record of 14-1-1. And he's a veteran of UFC 22, standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 157 pounds. He is originally from Sunnyside, Washington, fighting out of Davenport, Iowa. Please welcome Jens Pulver. And our referee for the evening is Big John McCarthy.
A constant since UFC 2, working his 27th UFC, Big John McCarthy, getting set for the first time this evening to bark out the 3 most famous words inside the octagon. Let's get the first one started. Pulver and Velasquez.
All right, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on!
Here we go! For the first time in 2000, live from Lake Charles, a quick kick from David Velasquez.
And you can bet Velasquez is in shape coming out of a Shamrock camp. Shamrock's whole game plan is based on conditioning. It's how he beat Tito Ortiz in what you called and what I certainly will call a fight.
It certainly was, Jeff.
Nice punch.
Right here in this building, and look at these two tangle quickly. Oh, a big left, and another. Look at the lefts of Pulver. What a great start to what we hope will be another memorable evening. UFC debut for Velasquez, 1 draw in the UFC in this building at 22 for Pulver against Alvarez. And look at him, left hands, trying with the left again.
Wow. Hey, position. Get your fucking position.
You hear the corner, Pat Miletich working and yelling at his man, telling him to get position. And Frank Shamrock, a champion, on the other side. Lightweight and middleweight champions, a knee. These strikes are unbelievable.
He doesn't have an answer for Pulver's left hand. Pulver's getting that left hook in.
Watch the elbow.
There it was again.
What did I say coming in? He likes to strike.
Mouse under David Velasquez's right eye.
And a smile on his face, almost saying, gents, nice job, good start. Let's continue to get it on. Pat Miletich in the corner. one of the best cornermen there is in this business.
Time to work.
Tie him up. Don't let him leave.
Time to work.
Inside.
Time to work.
Circle out, Dave.
Inside.
You know the game.
Inside.
Circle out.
Keep control inside.
Keep him working.
You can hear
Keep
Frank,
circling.
too.
Keep him working. Keep dancing.
Working, doing good, guys.
Frank, our retired middleweight champion.
He's got to guard against that left hand. He drops his right hand as he's defending against knees, and Pulver comes in with that left hook again.
I mean, Pulver, when he won the Botsrutten Invitational 3 lightweight title, he won both his matches with knockouts under 30 seconds. Shamrock's man is taking punishment here in round 1.
And you got to wonder in a 3-round fight whether Pulver has punched himself out in the first period. Man, he is throwing leather.
Knee, big knee. Hands up.
Working, both doing good.
Elbows in, Dave. Watch the knee. On your back.
Oh! The left knee landed that time.
You're okay, baby. You're okay.
Velasquez is bloodied up.
Circle out.
Trying to bring that knee high again.
There's
Another left.
He almost took him out with that left hook.
Velasquez trying to counter. Pulver showing great conditioning.
Right to the body, left cross, and boy, it almost put Velasquez down.
Big knee up top.
There it is again. There it is again. Got to say something about Velasquez's chin. No doubt about it, he can take a punch.
Knee up top. Big knee. I showed you that knee.
Look at the energy. Listen to the energy of Frank Shamrock, and it finally goes down to the ground.
Velasquez is mounted here, side mount.
1:05 remaining in round number 1.
Working through, you're doing good.
Seems that Pulver here is taking a blow, collecting himself. Knee on the stomach, he'll rise up and strike from there if he keeps it.
A Pat Miletich student against a Frank Shamrock student. It looks like both are going to weather storms here in round 1.
Doing good, guys.
Pulver will be able to regain his arms now.
Full mount. Here's the left, and more, and more.
Didn't get hit by any of those punches.
Doing good. Put your fingers in his face. From the hand. Doing good.
Velasquez should be hanging on here, try to kill the time.
You're at 13 seconds. 13 seconds, Dave. Use the fence. Bridge off of it. No.
Wow, another left.
No, 10 seconds. No, you got it.
And now the first round comes to a close.
Oh, and they get grappling at the end there. Velasquez showing life.
Wow. The first of 3 5-minute rounds between Jens Pulver and David Velasquez.
The people like what they're seeing.
And they should.
Pulver on his feet had some tremendous punches, but that leg kick was caught. And Pulver put him down and started raining left hands in. Another look at it. It caught him in the head, but he didn't really follow through. It seemed to snap at the end and just catch him. More of a slap than anything.
Look at that knee.
Caught him right in, just below the chin, it seemed.
Yep.
Drove him backwards, but Velasquez looks fresh in the corner. The right eye is not closed, but that's the reason. Those punches there that he got the mouse under the right eye. Pulver's left hook has dominated this fight so far.
So Velasquez in his corner. Both of his losses in mixed martial arts have been to bigger guys. Jens Pulver, not a bigger guy, but a big heart. Jens says his style is similar to that of Tito Ortiz, and he showed that come out and go after it Tito Ortiz attitude in round 1. Passed on from Bob Shamrock's Shamrock 2000 team to Pat Miletich's team in Iowa because he needed lighter guys to train against, did Jens Pulver. A great start And now they go down. Shamrock.
Oh, that's
retired
tight.
middleweight champion. That is tight.
Push it over.
Headlock, just like we use in
Push it over,
wrestling. He's
Dave,
got
and
the
bridge
arm
on it.
tied into the lock.
Keep yourself safe.
Something that Shamrock
Push your
does,
hand
and he
over.
even said that when he trains,
Push
is he
your
puts
hand over,
himself
Dave.
and his students in really
Make
bad
sure you're
positions.
okay on the side choke.
Because
and then
that's
beat
where
him.
you're going to find yourself inevitably in a
Touch him
fight,
out. Don't let him
whether
mount
it's
you.
in this
Keep your
one
left
or the
knee
next
up.
one or down the road. And
Come on,
perhaps
knee.
Velasquez was able to
Come on,
weather
Dave.
that kind of
You
storm.
know this, baby. Scoot your hips up. It's time to work.
But
Elbow to
he's
knee.
mounted again, and I'm surprised he got mounted so quickly.
Scoot up. Yeah, now scoot up. Keep working out. You know the game. Walk up his body. Walk up his body, Dave. Go. Walk up his body. That's
Now
what you
it's
do.
flurries.
You're okay. Walk up.
All right, it is great to hear the champions in the corner in this fight. And talking about the tactician practices that there really are in this. It's just not all fighting. I mean, it is truly a chess match here at the ultimate level, the UFC.
I would really think for those who are not familiar with MMA or uneducated about mixed martial arts competition, this is all about science. Yes, you can have the personality and
Push your
that
chest out.
explosive athletic character,
Shut his nose.
but it has to be directed. And we've seen too many fights where just pure raw aggression and power fail because brains beat
James,
brains
no.
all the time. I'll take a smart power versus just a plain raw power any day.
Trying to work some elbows now.
And it's being effective.
He cannot hit the head with the elbow, and he knows that. Now Pulver on top, back and forth. Velasquez trying to stop the flurry, trying to get his legs, full mount. Pulver continuing to punish. David Velasquez.
Those punches don't have a lot of power. Look at him wing them in from the side. Yes, they're connecting. They are scoring. But they're not straight punches like those. Those are the ones that are going to hurt him.
And they're continuing to land. There's a big one, and another left punch. Pulver is teeing off.
He also looks like he's punching himself out.
And it is over. It is over.
No answer.
Jens Pulver has defeated David Velasquez.
You're missing him, Bubba. Those shots, you're missing him, right? You got to connect with him. Referee time.
It's a referee time. It's not over. They're examining Velasquez's eyes.
Hey.
Thank you very much.
That was hard right there.
He
but
said he was
poured it on
missing
and
him.
He didn't want any fucking more.
Not sure what's going on. No, the fight's over. Fight's over.
It is an
Fight's
official
over. It's
stoppage.
over.
Yeah.
Leon's in there taking care of him medically.
Stoppage at 2:41 of the second round. Jens Pulver, after the draw here in UFC 22, a dominant performance here in UFC 24.
Here's a beautiful shot there by Pulver. Not only did he pick the leg, but he moved up into a headlock onto the head and put him down. But then he got to the mounted position, and here Velasquez could not solve the riddle of how to get him back in the guard. And Pulver took full advantage of it, reining those punches in. Big John McCarthy saw no reasonable defense offered after so many strikes thrown, ended the fight.
Fight number 2 will also be in the lightweight division. Tiki, 23 years old, who is trained by Tito Ortiz, will take on Bob Cook, who is trained by Frank Shamrock. And it was less than 6 months ago that Tito Ortiz and Frank Shamrock fought right here in this building for the middleweight championship. There is Tito Ortiz trailing his fighter, Tiki, 23 years old. From California, talking to us about training in Huntington Beach.
I work out in Huntington Beach, and a lot of the good fighters from UFC and other organizations happen to live there and train there, so I've had the benefit of training with a lot of people. And training for this fight, I've been fortunate enough to train with John Lewis, who has showed me a lot in cardio, technique, and jiu-jitsu. So I hope to come in and show everybody what I can do and come out on top.
All right, Tiki. Tito told me earlier today, Tiki is a great athlete who kicks like a mule.
Well, he's well-rounded, physically strong, good striking, so he'll use his hands, and of course, he'll use those leg kicks.
So Tiki makes his debut inside the octagon. Asked about his training, he said, "Can I just tell you, it has been hell." Let's see what he does in his debut as he gets set to take on Tito's opponent, Frank Shamrock's Crazy Bob Cook. Crazy Bob is from North Fork, California. Now that is prevalent to know because he drives 3 hours each day to fight with Frank, and he's excited.
I'm excited to be here. A little bit nervous. It hasn't really hit yet. I think it'll hit when it comes time to start warming up. And maybe when I show up at the arena and see the cage and all that. UFC is the big show, so it's great to be a part of it. And carry on the tradition. I got to do well.
Now you talk about dedication. He drives 3 hours each way to the gym. Frank Shamrock's top student, submission specialist.
That says one thing, dedication. And he's going to one of the best at it, submission specialist, comfortable striking, and if he's Frank Shamrock's top student, he's got to have good skills on the ground and a heart that'll carry him the entire distance.
Tiki, 23 years old. Bob Cook, 30 years old. Both well-versed in submissions. Tiki, a bit taller, 4 inches taller. They are both lightweights coming in at 169.9 or less for the matchup. Could this one be as good as the lightweight fight we just saw? Let's get set for it. Here's Bruce Bumper.
Our next fight is a lightweight fight consisting of 3 5-minute rounds, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a submission fighter with a mixed martial arts record of 4-0, standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 169 pounds, and fighting out of Huntington Beach, California. He is making his octagon debut. Please welcome Tiki! And his opponent. Right. He is a submission fighter with a mixed arts record of 3-0, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, in at 167 pounds, and fighting out of North Fork, California. Please welcome Crazy Bob Cook. Look at him, Bobby.
Now, Bob is known for the Crazy Bob Special. That refers to the knee scissors that he gets people in a lot. He says it is like torture. We had one great lightweight fight to start the evening, ready to get the second one started. Big John McCarthy.
Right, here we go. Ready. Are you ready? Get it on!
So here we go, lightweight fight 2, and they both come out quickly.
Oh, some nice knees. Cook puts... Whoa, Cook had Tiki down, but now Tiki rallies. Cook puts him in the guard, and they go from there. What a flurry. And one has to wonder, with the amount of energy, if they keep this kind of pace going, Tiki had to go, armbar!
Oh my, looking for the armbar, looking for a tap.
Oh, and he gets out, and he gets out again.
Oh my, Tiki and Cook, here we go. This is the one thing that I love about UFC debuts. We don't know what to expect.
Don't know what to expect, and everyone believes they need the win to further their career. But with great fights like we've had so far, even the people who have lost have made a great impression.
Tiki has the footwear on, the balder head. Bob Cook has the eyes on the back of his trunk.
One thing about Tiki is he cut some weight. It took him extra long to make the weight class, and that may pay dividends to Bob Cook.
Look at those.
Oh, and he gets rocked by a punch.
Oh, he's in trouble. All right, but the flurry stops. Trying to stay up is Tiki. He can't bring him down.
Good balance by Tiki to keep them there. Cook on the ground.
You know, the interesting thing is Tito and Frank's relationship is one of great friendship. But now in this same building, their fighters compete against each other here tonight.
Well, there always will be rivals based on they had a great fight for the middleweight championship. But it's also recognized by all the young fighters now that you've got to move towards those who are successful and learn from them. And Shamrock's career, not over, though he's vacated the title. Ortiz's obvious stock is still rising, probably just like NASDAQ in those techs.
Tito will join us in the broadcast position a little later. Right now, though, he is a coach and a fan of his fighter, Bob Cook.
Cook seems to have weathered the storm, but he got stunned. Nice left by Cook.
So Bob, Cook, and Tiki.
Nice defense by Tiki. He's able to rip the arms up of that double and not allow Cook to finish it.
So Tito and Tiki together. Bob and Frank together. And they fight here in the first of 3 5-minute rounds.
He was circling the wrong way against the southpaw. Cook loading up at that left.
I mean, this fight just got right underway. You want to talk about taking let's get it on literally. Cook
Shamrock,
and Tiki have done that.
I guarantee you Shamrock's smart enough to have told his fighter to set a blistering pace early. Try to zap Tiki of energy so that it's going to pay big dividends in the third round.
And that is somewhat of the strategy that Frank Shamrock used in defeating Tito Ortiz.
Absolutely no doubt about it.
So Tiki at 23 years old.
Still can't get him off the ground.
Incredible balance there. And now it goes down again, but not in the direction that Cook wanted.
He wants it down. He wants to look for submission. He's already had him locked up in an armbar, couldn't finish it. Tiki had to lift him up and muscle him around. I guarantee you that takes energy, and your adrenaline's cooking. You realize a little mistake and he's going to set it. So I got to believe that Tiki's a little bit winded here.
Jeff had mentioned that Tiki had to cut some weight. Oftentimes it will gas you throughout the evening, working your body in the fashion in which he needed to get to the lightweight weight requirements of 169.9 or less. Tiki's going to let him up. Cook back to his feet.
Good ploy there. You don't want to bounce up until that other fighter gives you room.
The right glances off the chin.
Oh, right hand, another one.
And another big right. And a left connects with Tiki. A left and a right. Combinations. You hear Shamrock calling for the knee?
30 seconds, Bob.
Trying to give it 30 seconds in round one. Thank you, Frank Shamrock. And down they go.
Tiki is straight up and down. His knees get locked while he's there.
That'll close up the scoring gap in round
there's no
one.
doubt. Hands on hips, a sure indication of fatigue. And now his hands are being carried mid-chest.
Final seconds of round one.
What a round. Great round.
He's fucking tired like you are.
My, oh my.
Tired as you are, okay? I know you're tired.
You know, it's interesting. I said to Frank right before the show tonight, Frank Shamrock, I said, you know, a year ago, nobody knew Randleman, nobody knew Ortiz, nobody knew Rizzo. Now tonight, we're starting to get to know these young men.
Absolutely. There's lots of them out there, particularly in the last 3-4 years, the hybrid style, learning those 4 skill sets. And look at the flurry by Cook at the end, driving Tiki against the fence. Had him on the rope, so to speak.
Okay, good. In swell. In swell.
You know what? There's nothing like the UFC.
No, there's not.
Except no substitutes.
Hey, good fucking position. Hey, good position. Keep your fucking hands up. Circle.
That's Tito Ortiz you can hear talking to his student, Tiki, the lightweight. There you see a shot of it. Tiki, who started kickboxing at 17 years old, is 4-0 in mixed martial arts. Great stand-up as we saw there.
Hey, Tiki, think and relax. Think and relax, Tiki.
We are underway in round two.
Let's see how much energy Tiki has here. It seemed like he spent an awful lot. It's not to say that Cook didn't.
They came out at a little different pace, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And Cook finished with that 30-second flurry that Shamrock tried to use and did use successfully against Tito Ortiz.
Now, Bob Cook first went to the Lion's Den, and then when Frank left, Bob trained at Frank's gym and the Lion's Den.
Left hand on the button by Kirk.
So they've been together for a while. Tiki trying to deliver again. Combinations now. That one was blocked nicely. Good defense.
Oh, he's going to get the takedown. And now we'll get to see Cook in the top position.
He's in a half guard now.
Look for him to try to snake that left knee through and work to the mount.
He almost had the side mount there, Jeff.
There it is, mount.
There you go, full mount. Now this potentially could be trouble.
Well, it's recognized in jiu-jitsu and MMA as the second worst position to be in. The first is giving up your back while on your belly.
Susceptible for a choke. Spinning, and here you go. Here you go, possibility of a choke here.
And certainly that's what Cook, there it is. He set it in, has the full heel, there it is.
There you go. What a great explanation of the two trouble spots in which he put himself in.
Well, most people turn away from punches, and when you do, in MMA, in comes the choke. I'll tell you what, their coaches, Shamrock and Ortiz, had a classic fight. Tell you what, that was a classic fight as well.
You want to talk about tacticians. How about that? Bob Cook gets the full mount. Tiki shows his back. Boom. It is over. And Shamrock defeats Ortiz in another fashion here tonight in Lake Charles.
I think we're going to see more rivalry between Shamrock and Ortiz, maybe some day down the road in another fight, but certainly between camps.
How about the way that Tiki came out to start this thing, though?
He came out big. He really hit Cook early, and Cook had no real good double leg success, even though he shot 3-4 times. Tiki's sprawl and ripping up the hands, super job in defending. And at the end there, once he was able to take his back, in went the choke, locks it up tight right there, and it was just a matter of seconds before he tapped and John McCarthy stopped the fight.
The fight stopped round 2, 140. And the winner is Bob Cook. For the official word inside for the decision from Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you have just witnessed was a war between two lightweight opponents, with the winner by tap out at 1 minute, 30 seconds of the second round. The winner is Crazy Bob Cook. Let's have a big hand for Tiki.
Both of these competitors, as it was in fight number 1 tonight, showing us that the future is very bright here in the Super Bowl of Mixed Martial Arts.
Fight Capsule rolls on here in the Fight Pass studios, and you just got done watching Crazy Bob Cook take on the man known as Tiki. We're looking back at the year 2000 in UFC history, 25 years ago. It pains me to say that I remember 25 years ago, but I don't remember what fight is up next, so I got to look here. Oh, yeah. Murilo Bustamante, he went on to become a UFC middleweight champion. He also fought in Pride Fighting Championships, which reminds me, part of Fight Capsule, we're going to have to dig into some of the other libraries as well, this time focusing on the UFC in the year 2000. But let's go back and check out Murilo Bustamante fighting in Japan, taking on Yoji Anjo. It's part of Fight Capsule here from UFC Fight Pass.
Coming up next, the well-documented debut of Bustamante taking on Anjo, that a middleweight matchup. Now, earlier this week in Tokyo, some of the U.S. fighters visited the Yokosuka Naval Base outside of Tokyo, and many of the members of the Navy who are stationed now in Japan are in attendance here tonight.
Thanks, guys. Joined here octagon side by Petty Officer Kaiwa Kirchhoff of the Yokosuka Naval Base here in Tokyo. These guys were fortunate enough to host all of the American fighters this week. Tell us what it's like to have the UFC come to town and be able to see it right here in your own hometown.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's just like a little piece of America here in Japan. We are so excited that you guys have come here, and we really appreciate the time you showed us on the base, meeting all the fighters, and them spending time with the sailors there. It meant a lot to us, and we really appreciate it.
I want to talk to some of the other guys. What is it about the UFC that you guys love so much?
We love the American fighters over here. There's a lot of action. It's more we see on the base in about a month. And we have great support for you guys. You've given us a lot. And we're glad you guys can come over here. And next time you guys come to the base, we'll try to get you on and get a lot more support over here.
Thank you very much. Kyle, I know we got a lot more guys up there. Let's say hello to all those guys up there. All right. All right, guys.
Now, it is great to see the support of our U.S. Navy men who are working every day in Japan right now. They're going to watch Anjo and Bustamante. And what a matchup we anticipate this middleweight fight will be. Bustamante, as I said at the top of the show, 100% Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, making his UFC debut tonight.
And he brings in a storied record. Certainly one of the toughest guys out there, going a 40-minute draw with the likes of the size of a Tom Erickson, knocking out Jerry Bolander. I mean, this guy is for real. And he brings in submissions above, the likes of the very best that have ever graced the octagon. Got nothing but respect. I've heard so much about him, and his nickname on all of the different chat pages regarding mixed martial arts is Bust a Move. The guy has got great talent, superb skills, and he just throws one thing after the other at you.
Now let's see if it is enough tonight for him to be victorious in his UFC debut against a man who comes in draped in the black robe and is fighting in the UFC for the second time. His first appearance in the UFC was back in December of '97, UFC Japan #1, if you will, Jeff, and he lost that night to the bad boy of the UFC, David Tank Abbott.
He put up a pretty good fight with Abbott, but Abbott wound up getting the decision and puts him with an 0-1 mark in the octagon. But he is really going to be challenged. I mean, Bustamante is the real deal. He is the complete package. He is a submission specialist, really one of the best to ever grace the octagon. So I really don't know what Anjo brings in here other than a professional wrestling background, and I think that's going to fall woefully short skill-wise to Mr. Bustamante.
Bustamante trained with the Gracie family at one point in his career. He does no longer, but he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist taking on a submission guy. Both are 33 years old, a middleweight fight, so both are under 199.9. There you get a good look at Murilo Bustamante. Birthplace is Rio de Janeiro. He fights out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Not surprisingly, he's excellent at submissions.
A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, excellent guard, excellent submissions, and I'm sure he can do some stand-up as well, but his domain is the ground, and he invites anyone to come visit him.
The interesting thing to be asked is, can Yoji Anjo do anything to combat that? And can Yoji Anjo take advantage of what might be a lesser amount of skill possessed by Bustamante in his stand-up?
Well, pro wrestling background, has some groundwork that, most of the Japanese are exposed to, and has done some kickboxing. But I have a feeling Mr. Anjo is going to meet Mr. Bustamante in Mr. Bustamante's terms.
Well, Murilo Bustamante claims a no-hold-barred record of 7-0-1. He is the current Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World Heavyweight Champion. He is a 4-time BJJ Absolute National Champion. His credentials are overwhelming. His debut in the octagon is now just moments away as Big John McCarthy closes and locks the gate. And now there are 3 men in the octagon, 2 that are about to get it on. Here we go. Now, keep one thing in mind. Yoji Anjo is an absolute hero here in his home country of Japan, so he will get some vocal support from the fans tonight.
Double leg. And once again, he waited for the punch to be thrown, but Bustamante took full advantage of it, going under, getting basically a double leg, and now he's got full side mount. Boy, that was quick. He just simply stepped out of the guard.
Bustamante knows that he is up against an opponent who's very famous in Japan, but I don't think that Bustamante will be shy about doing what he wants to do, and that is a lot of what we are looking at here in the first 43 seconds of the matchup.
And that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu philosophy is take little bits and keep taking little bits until they add up to something big.
And the interesting thing is John McCarthy visited at length with James Wormy, and we talked about how every fighter is a hybrid fighter, but I think if you really put Bustamante on the lie detector, I think he'd still tell you that he's not quite as hybrid as everybody else. He's just going to see if what made Royce Gracie one of our greatest champions can make him victorious tonight, and that is, as I've said before, pure 100% BJJ.
That is correct, and Royce Gracie made no bones about it. He wouldn't strike someone just to prove he could submit them.
That was almost a decade ago, though.
Long time, and now look for a possible choke here. Vanderlei can take his back. Locked up in basically a bear hug. Anjo now is facing him, takes a knee to the stomach.
Bustamante wanted to look for an arm. Now he wants to get his opponent back down to the mat. Yoji, Anjo, and Bustamante just underway. 3 5-minute rounds are scheduled. It'll be 5 5-minute rounds for our upcoming middleweight championship fight between Tito Ortiz and Vanderlei Silva. 4 middleweight bouts on the card tonight. This is the third of the 4. A debut for one man, a second trip inside the world-famous octagon for the other.
Well, Anjo very game with his guard thus far. Murilo unable to really get anything going from the side mount. He's had it a couple times now. This is where the Brazilian philosophy is. Take a blow, let your opponent continue to use energy to try to hold you. Make him carry your weight, and then strike. And there you could just see him. He kind of waited, and he got one leg out of the guard. Now it's a half guard. Now he's going to get them both. Look at how easily he gets his legs out.
May look simple to those watching in the early part of their viewership of the UFC, but not as simple as it looks.
No, not at all. We've had some that have just never solved the riddle of the guard and learning how to pass it. Some base their whole style working within an opponent's guard.
So a full mount now displayed by Murilo Bustamante, the 33-year-old middleweight out of Rio de Janeiro. Combination from the top, one of the rights landed. Now some short punches, and Bustamante looks extremely confident and comfortable.
Oh yeah, he does. I mean, he's very well balanced.
Oh, nice play by Anjo.
Big super back arch there. What we call a bridge in wrestling. He was able to throw Bustamante off of it. Whoa, almost an arm lock by Bustamante.
Anjo able to pull the release, and now they are on their feet.
And he's just fearless. Bustamante walks right into him, and Anjo doesn't have any striking skills to keep him off.
I was going to say there's a reason for his display of being fearless there. If he were trying to walk into Laverne Clark, he might eat some leather.
Yes, that's true. Anjo really did not present any kind of a defense there in terms of strikes to keep him off, to keep separation. And once again, Murilo able to get to side mount.
I don't know if I would walk into Vanderlei Silva like that, Jeff.
I'm not sure that's side yet. No, it's still a half guard.
I don't know if I'd walk into Tito Ortiz like
There's
that.
a lot of guys I'm not walking into unless I'm walking with them.
Full mount again for Bustamante. But not really throwing a lot of punishing blows.
He doesn't see a clean shot.
Yoji Anjo, so he's just real patient.
He's not going to waste energy. That fits right into the Brazilian tradition. They're not going to waste energy needlessly. Make it count for something. It's an intelligent philosophy.
First round's going to come to a close here in a moment. We'll hear the bell. And the end of the first round, very good for Bustamante. Yeah, combinations. And a good close to the end of the first round for Murilo Bustamante.
You seem to be solving the riddle there. That or Anjo starting the weekend. The other thing is frustration. I have been caught in people's guard, or I've had people get on top of me and I try to get out, and after a while, if you really don't know what you're doing, if you're not confident in the skills that you've learned how to get out of that situation, frustration sets in. And I'll tell you, you talk about fear making people get tired. Frustration gets them just as tired, just as fast. And here you see a beautiful arch by Anjo. Started eating some leather. It seemed that Bustamante found the range, but then he surprised Bustamante here with a real powerful bridge, and he was able to reverse the positions. Right there, nice
Pushed
job.
off the fence, which is allowable. You can't lock into the fence, but you can push off the fence.
That is
well,
100% correct.
Well done by Yoji Anjo.
Well, no marks. Didn't get hit that bad.
Second round underway. Mike Goldberg, Jeff Blatnick, James Wormy. Yoyogi Gymnasium, Tokyo, Japan. Oh, just slid underneath the right punch.
Beautiful technique. Looked like what we call a duck under in the sport of wrestling. Immediately got behind him. Anjo will be fresh here for a little bit. You know, anytime you come out of a corner, you're going to have some good energy, but let's see how quick he can, or how long he can maintain it. Oh, boy.
My goodness. And there is how quick a submission can be delivered.
It looked like a, you know, a choke or a neck crank there where he had the carotid cut, but he had the arm in that lock. But Bustamante is just a master of putting on submissions from all kinds of angles. And boy, I'll tell you, forced Anjo to tap. He's lived up to his reputation.
Now Bustamante just like that, and that is how quickly a submission can end the evening of your opponent. And it's funny, when we talk about the way that this sport has evolved, one mistake can end your night, and Yoji Anjo makes one mistake early in the second round. Bustamante wins by submission.
Well, he got that neck crank going, but it was the continued takedowns and the ability to pass the guard that really did set that up.
Puts the traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gi back on.
The Brazilians have another big star in the UFC.
Yes, indeed.
And I like this guy. I've read all about him.
Yeah.
I've never had the chance to see him fight personally, and now I have, and I'll tell you, he's the real deal. I can't wait to see him again.
Now let's see how he closes it out here, Jeff.
Well, here's that punch, and I mean, he just simply went right around that punch. Once he got him down, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. Push on the leg, try to get one of his out, and there he's working to try to mount, but Anjo keeps the half guard, but he gives up the lock around the head, and Bustamante just keeps it there and keeps putting more and more and more pressure on him. And I'm not sure if he was actually twisting the shoulder or whether this was really an arterial choke on the far side, the side you can't see right now, the right side. Right there on the arm, you can see on the side of his neck.
And partner, that is exactly what caused Anjo to tap. Our winner, Bustamante, is backstage with James Wormy.
Thanks, Goldie. Joined by Murilo Bustamante. He's going to be helped by a translator. First of all, Murilo, what is it like to fight in the UFC, and what is it like to finally win in the UFC?
Para você, como é lutar no Ultimate?
Bom, eu sempre tive muita vantagem de lutar no Ultimate. Para mim, lutar no Ultimate e brigar pelo cinturão é um sonho. E eu sei que eu tenho condição de conseguir. Sei que tem grandes lutadores como o Tito, o Vanderlei, que estão na minha frente. Mas eu estou entrando agora no show. E estou realizando dois sonhos. Um, lutar no Ultimate, e outro, lutar no Japão, que é um país que eu admiro muito pela disciplina e filosofia de vida do seu povo. E desde garoto eu tenho um sonho de lutar aqui. Estou realizando dois sonhos ao mesmo tempo hoje.
Since Murilo was a kid, he has a dream to fight in Japan, and since he was a professional fighter, he has a dream to fight in Ultimate Fighting Championship. So he is realizing both at the same time. He's very happy. He admired a lot of Japan because about his discipline, his philosophy, everything about Japan. He's enjoyed a lot.
Take us through how you actually won the fight. Looked like you choked him out. Tell us exactly what happened.
O que aconteceu na luta? Como é que foi que você...
Bom, o tempo do round é um pouco curto para mim. No primeiro round eu não consegui dominar uma posição, ficou um round meio explodindo, e no segundo round eu já passei a guarda, encaixando uma posição e consegui dominar bem, e aí eu finalizei.
The time limit in Ultimate is not enough for him in between the rounds, and he liked to have more time, but he couldn't. So he tried the first round, but Anjo gave him a hard time in the first round. In the second round, he did better and put him down, pass his guard, and choke him out and by the side.
Why don't you talk directly to your fans of Brazil and tell them what it feels like to be here in Japan and winning the Ultimate Fighting Championship?
Sorry, didn't get it.
Talk to the fans in Brazil, in Portuguese.
Talk to fans in Brazil
Bom, primeira coisa, mandar beijo enorme para minha família, para minha namorada, que me dá o maior apoio. E os meus amigos, meus alunos, os meus amigos que estão aqui comigo, o Tetel, que é meu manager, Ricardo Libório, meu amigo. Agradecer a todos eles, o Bebel, o Claudinho, meu professor de boxe. E um agradecimento especial para o meu mestre Carson Grace, que ele não pôde estar aqui, mas que me ensinou tudo que eu sei. E com certeza no próximo Ultimate ele vai estar aqui comigo. Obrigado.
More quality for the UFC's middleweight division. Back to you guys.
Lightweight Matt Hughes enters the octagon for only the second time tonight, but his mixed martial arts record of 14-1 ranks him among the elite in the UFC's lightweight division. Making his debut at UFC 22 last September, Hughes took on Sambo specialist Val Ignatov, scoring takedowns at will and using classic overpowering ground and pound. Hughes dominated the fight from beginning to end. The judge's decision was unanimous, and Matt Hughes had won his first UFC bout. Tonight, he'll look to build on his victory and continue to climb the ladder in the UFC's lightweight division.
I'll pick where I want to be. If I want to be standing up, we'll be standing up. If I want to go to the ground, I'm going to take him down. That's one advantage I will have. He won't have a chance of taking me down, I don't think. So I get to pick where the battle's going to be, and it'll be on the ground where it's going to be. I'm not going to stand up and trade with him. He's too experienced for that.
All right, Matt Hughes in a lightweight matchup. Matt Hughes 1-0. His opponent tonight, Marcelo Aguiar, fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, ready to take on the young man from Hillsboro, Illinois. Matt Hughes, training with Pat Miletich. He loves to elevate and drop his opponent.
Certainly great with takedowns. You know from his wrestling background that he is going to be the man when it comes to takedowns here. Extremely powerful. When you see him, you'll see that he's in excellent physical condition. He should have the stamina to make this 3 rounds easy.
He defeated Val Ignatov with a unanimous decision at UFC 22. It was ground and pound all the way for Matt Hughes. That is what he will try to do tonight against this young man from Rio de Janeiro. He's a Muay Thai expert. Marcelo Aguiar likes to strike, especially with kicks. He's a Vanderlei Silva or an Ebenezer Braga clone. And if I am Aguiar, I take those comparisons as a compliment.
Well, certainly. They've been great fighters out of Brazil. And this is going to be interesting. A guy who can really kick here. And with a Muay Thai, he knows how to use his knees and elbows, too. Good striker, likes to clinch. And the reason the clinch is good for him is that's where you can get those knees and elbows going. Well versed on the ground. Look for him to have good guard. Probably good submissions.
Aguiar says about Matt Hughes that Matt Hughes is for sure the #1 under 170 pounds. So great respect as you take a look at the tail of the tape for this lightweight matchup. First lightweight matchup of the night. 5 years older is Marcelo Aguiar. He's an inch taller. Both come in making weight at 169 pounds. Hughes will get a similar reception here tonight as Jens Pulver received, because there is certainly a Miletich flavor in the air tonight as Matt Hughes, one of the top students in the Miletich camp. For the official introductions, the veteran voice of the Octagon, here's Bruce Buffer.
Our next fight is a lightweight fight consisting of 3 5-minute rounds, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Miletich Fighting Systems expert with a mixed martial arts record of 14-1 and a UFC record of 1-0. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds, fighting out of Hillsboro, Illinois. Please welcome Matt Hughes. And his opponent. He is a Muay Thai expert with a mixed martial arts record of 2-1. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds, fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Please welcome to the octagon, Marcelo Aguiar.
Mario Yamasaki will also be the referee for this, our second matchup of the evening between Marcelo Aguiar and Matt Hughes.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Here we go. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what Matt Hughes is all about. He is touted as one of the best in the world. Perhaps the top up-and-comer in the lightweight division.
Certainly has a great future ahead of him with the skills he possesses and the discipline to maintain a physical and physique that he is displaying here tonight. Looks like he invented the ab buster. And watch for Aguiar. He's a good stand-up guy with Muay Thai background. He's going to probably want to keep it on the feet. This is where Hughes likes, this is his patented slam. Take him from the guard and try to just bust him up. Aguiar did a nice job there countering that.
Yamasaki was right on the ball there too. Aguiar reached for the fence. Mario had nothing to do with it. But yet Hughes wasn't able to elevate and drop with as much force as he may try to do later on in the fight.
Well, this is Hughes' signature slam. That's something that he kind of brought in here. And it's been effective for him. But it seems as though Aguiar has done his homework, had that scouted out.
Now the submissions of Matt Hughes are getting better and better, and in his corner is Jeremy Horn and Mark Hansen. You see Hansen right there with the red hat on, the full contact fighter shirt. Jeremy Horn is also right there. Jeremy's been great helping Matt Hughes display a different level of patience when working in someone's guard.
And listen to how controlled, how deliberate the comments are. They're not excited, they're not emotional. They're keeping the fighter calm, making him use his head, thinking through all this. And he was digging some good left hands into Aguiar's ribs. And as we all know, it's the body shots that take the life out of the legs.
Pin that arm down.
Hansen, the best man in.
Watch him spin into your left side.
Jeremy Licic is his best man. In Wedding's the best friend, and he's got that same control in the corner as Pat Miletich has, that same calmness and a little ground and pound left to Marcelo Aguiar.
Both your arms, Matt. You gotta watch them. Don't get outstretched.
If you're going to pull back to throw big
Good
punches,
advice.
throw them with both
Don't
hands.
want to give somebody in the guard there a straight arm and extend it on.
Try with the elbow. He's got that right forearm cradled on the neck. A shot and another.
Hughes now starting to dominate.
Bring it back over here, Matt. Bring it back over here. Watch your arms. Watch that right arm. Watch that right arm. There you go.
I love that. Bring him back over here.
You got his wrist. Bring your left elbow over the top.
It must be unsettling on your back, an opponent trying to hit you, and he's got his friends inches away telling him what to do.
Under control.
Extra eyes from Hughes. Good coaching.
Looking good, Matt. Looking good. Settle yourself down.
Matt,
Settle
grab his
yourself
wrist
down.
and throw your elbow right over the top and don't let go of his wrist.
When he missed with that bomb a moment ago, he got himself in a defensive position and didn't need anything on the return.
2 minutes in the round. 2 minutes in the round.
Good guard, though, by Aguiar, showing that he can take this.
Set up your shots. Set up your shots.
At least maintain some solid defense from those strikes.
Grab his wrist with your right hand. Pull it back and grab his wrist. Now throw that right elbow right over the top. There you go.
That's a good shot.
Don't get overextended, Matt. You're getting
That little trick we've seen there with the elbow. Tie up the hand, come over the top with the elbow.
Start working it.
Don't get overextended. What does he mean there?
Getting the arm straight, that helps set the arm bar, gives him the opportunity for the arm bar. And we now have a cut. Aguiar's cut good.
But Aguiar appears to be okay. And Hughes is going for the finish. Hughes with the flurry. A right and a left. A right and a left again. Matt Hughes looking to close it out here. And the pace slows down.
Still a minute left here in the first period.
Still everything happening right in front of his corner. What an advantage.
His left side. His left side.
His twin brother Mark also octagon side with Jeremy Horn.
Time.
50 seconds.
53 seconds. Let's work it. Let's work it, Matt. Watch your arms. Watch your arms.
Matt, take your time.
He's opened up a cut on Marcelo Aguiar.
Grab his right wrist, throw your right elbow over the top, just like you did to cut him. Slow down, watch his back. Don't put your legs in that.
Lead with your knee. Lead with your knee. Lead with your knee.
What amazing one. Yamasaki wants to call timeout and check the cut. Safety always of the ultimate concern for our fighters. And Aguiar is going to check the cut.
That was not a stoppage of the fight.
That is correct. That was a timeout. Yamasaki doing exactly the right thing. Leon Tabbs, veteran cut man, has worked in the boxing world for decades.
And the Louisiana doctor, signed by the commission, will come in and make the call here.
Do those elbows are fucking left hand. We don't have one.
Dr. Rizzo is also there. The fight has been stopped. The fight has been stopped. Matt Hughes victorious here tonight in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So Leon Tabbs said the cut was too dangerous for Marcelo Aguiar to continue. And so it is victory number 2 for Matt Hughes.
Well, the cut had to get opened up, and what his coaches were yelling at him is grab the wrist, come over the top with the elbow. And we can't see if that is the one that delivered the cut. But it was that kind of tactic and the punching of Matt Hughes that opened up a wide cut. And there it is. That had to be the elbow that caused the cut. That was the elbow that caused the cut.
And it led to this eventually, Jeff.
And it was a bad cut. Mario Yamasaki, the referee, with fighter safety in mind, immediately stopped the fight, brought in Leon Tabbs and the Iowa doctor, and the doctor made the call, end the fight. Great performance by Matt Hughes.
He is dangerous. He is an up-and-comer. In fact, maybe he's already come up. But Matt Hughes gets his second victory in the UFC. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 4 minutes 15 seconds of the first round, the doctor has stopped the fight for the winner, Matt Hughes.
That right there was the future UFC welterweight champion, Matt Hughes, who went on to become one of the best UFC welterweights in existence, taking on Marcelo Aguiar. Now we're going to take a look at one of Matt Hughes' teammates, my favorite fighter. He won that belt right behind me in UCC, which is also available on UFC Fight Pass. You might know him as TKO. But let's go back and check out a fight from the year 2000 where Jeremy Horn took on Eugene Jackson. It's part of Fight Capsule from Extra Rounds right here on UFC Fight Pass.
When we first met Jeremy Horn, the thin 23-year-old was taking on Frank Shamrock for the UFC middleweight title. Since then, not only has this young man matured in the UFC, but seems to have gotten bigger and stronger each time he enters the octagon. After a disappointing loss at Ultimate Brazil, Horn rebounded with an impressive victory by choke over Chuck Liddell. At UFC 21, Horn outsized and outfought opponent Deju Takasi, winning via referee stoppage while in the mount position. He returned at UFC 22 and again impressed the UFC crowd. This time, his ground skills took center stage again as he caught jiu-jitsu expert Jason Godzi and a quick armbar for the tap-out victory. One of the most experienced and active fighters in the mixed martial arts world today, Jeremy Horn faces perhaps his most challenging opponent yet as he returns to the octagon tonight. Middleweight Eugene Jackson has been a one-man wrecking crew since he entered the octagon in July of 1999. At UFC 21, he took on local wrestling legend Royce Alger. Jackson showed excellent countering skills against the All-American, and even when he found himself taken down, remained poised and in control. With his opponent running out of gas, Eugene was able to score with a flurry of strikes that ended with a huge left-hand knockout. Jackson would return at UFC 23 in Tokyo. Taking on pain-crazed fighter Ki Yamamiya, Jackson again approached the fight patiently, scoring with occasional flurries and keeping the action standing up. In the third round, as he had done before, the power puncher lured his opponent in, then scored with that quick left hook. Yamamiya was out, and Eugene Jackson was a perfect 2-0 in the octagon with 2 knockouts to his credit. He returned to Tokyo at UFC 25 to take on yet another pain-crazed fighter, Sine Kikuto. Jackson had been bothered by the flu leading up to the fight and didn't quite seem himself, falling into a vulnerable position quickly in the first round.
From there, Kikuta went to work and eventually locked in the armbar to secure the tap-out victory. Eugene Jackson returns tonight to try to chalk up another knockout and return to his winning ways. Now, don't forget the fighters tonight are wearing the original Boxergenics grappling glove, specifically designed for the UFC. Compete in a glove favored by grapplers and strikers. The original Boxergenics grappling glove. There is Jeremy Horn, a very good grappler. Birthplace Omaha, Nebraska, fighting out of Cedar Rapids, part of the Militich Fighting Systems team. He weighed in fully clothed. Pardon me, Jeremy Horn weighed in and just made weight under 199. Jackson weighed in fully clothed. So you can imagine one thing. Jeremy Horn is probably at about 210 right now, although this is a middleweight fight. And keep in mind that when he last fought Jason Godzi, he did fight as a heavyweight. So Jeremy Horn back to the middleweight division, and his reward for doing so, he gets to take on Eugene Jackson. From East Palo Alto, California, fighting out of East Palo Alto, California. His nickname is the Wolf. He has incredible physical strength, punching power, and I think that he is relishing this underdog role that he sees himself in tonight, Frank.
He is the underdog, but he's a great puncher. He's a great takedown artist. He's really hard to take down himself, and he's worked really hard on his submission skills.
Eugene Jackson set to take on Jeremy Horn, freestyle man against a Militich fighter, 33 years old, 25 years old, so 8 years differ. Jackson is smaller, and Jackson does weigh less as we get set for this middleweight matchup. For the official introductions, the veteran voice of the Octagon, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a highly anticipated and much looked forward to 3-round middleweight bout, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Militich Fighting Systems team member with a mixed martial arts record of 38, 5-4. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 199 pounds. Fighting out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, please welcome back Jeremy Horn. And his opponent standing to my right. He is a freestyle fighter with a mixed martial arts record of 10-3 and a UFC record of 2-1. All his victories by way of knockout. Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 199 pounds. Fighting out of East Palo Alto, California, please welcome the Wolf, Eugene Jackson. And our referee for this bout is Mr. Mario Yamasaki.
Jeremy Horn, full-time fighter against Eugene Jackson, part-time fighter. More on that storyline as we continue.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Mario Yamasaki gets this middleweight fight underway. Great depth in the middleweight division. Kondo a winner. He could see Tito Ortiz in the future. These two young men, both contenders in that middleweight division.
I see where Jeremy's looking. He's watching the hips and he's watching the feet. He's going to come out kicking. You don't want to bang with Jackson.
Well, Jackson coming off a loss to Kikuta. That happened at UFC 25, UFC J3 in Japan. He was not feeling well that night. Came in with a bout of the flu, the jet lag. It's hard to fight over there, as you well know, Frank. And Jeremy Horn, always impressive. And he got his start against Frank Shamrock, and he showed some skills that you weren't so sure he possessed in that matchup.
No, he came out as a total sleeper and took me completely by surprise, as he took everyone by surprise. He doesn't look at his physique, it doesn't look menacing, but he's got skills and he's got tons of experience.
And his physique is 10 times more impressive than it was when at 23 years old he took you on 2 years ago.
Absolutely. His nickname is Gumby. He just gets out there and just flows and moves.
Bad when you go home after Gumby kicks your butt.
Yeah. What do you do then?
Exactly. I got a fight at school today. Who kicked my butt? Gumby did.
Gumby took me out.
That's right. And we say that with respect to Jeremy, of course. Well, you can say it without respect. I'm going to say it with respect. You can get away with it.
See, Horn, very patient, good position, great control, very patient fighter. I think that's been his key to success. He's so patient. He's always there. He's always fighting.
Frank, Jeremy's motioned over more than once already to his corner, and in his corner, our lightweight champion, one of the best trainers in the world, Pat Miletich. And we'll keep an eye on that, and you can help us kind of re-deliver the messages that you imagine that Pat's giving to Jeremy, because it's pretty common the things that are said by you and by Pat working in the corners of a respective fighter.
Yeah, fighting is fighting. It's all pretty much the same stuff. I think Jeremy's just checking in with time. I think he has the cardio game plan now as well. He wants to finish the round strong. He wants to pick it up in the middle. He wants to play each round like it's its own fight. And as well, look for a finish all the time.
Now, Horn knows that Eugene Jackson has really good balance, likes to punch. But the thing that Jeremy Horn wants to do is put him on his back. He feels he can take care of him. If he puts Eugene Jackson on his back, that is where the fight is taking place right now.
And I think that's a correct assumption there. If this is his weak spot, being on his back is a wrestler's weak spot. They're not comfortable there. It takes them extra energy to do it.
There you go.
There's Pat Miletich. Congratulations to Pat. Newly married a week ago, going to Bora Bora on his honeymoon in about a week. So I guess part of his honeymoon includes a trip to New Orleans for a UFC.
Try walking your foot up.
And Pat's giving great advice. Real patient.
Horn looking to tee off, looking to get that right hand loose. Now he spins it.
Excellent guard pass there. Dropped his knee, passed right through. And I feel this is a very dominant position for him right here, especially with his style of jiu-jitsu.
We have to remember the basis in which each fighter is built, because the Miletich fighting system is built on diversity, but still, if you are first a wrestler, you will always be a wrestler. First a boxer, always a boxer, a jiu-jitsu specialist, and so on. That base is always going to be your foundation, isn't it?
Absolutely. Fighting is fighting is fighting. It's all you need. You got to punch, you got to kick, you got to knee, and you got to learn how to grapple and do holds. Whatever discipline you subscribe to, it needs elements from all those same things. But they always say fighting is fighting is fighting. Once you get in there and it gets going, it's all the same stuff.
Now Jackson knows that Jeremy Horn can be very, very crafty. He's always in the fight, always well conditioned, and really has never shown any fear. Jackson's classy competitor said he sees nothing negative about Jeremy Horn, and there's been nothing negative about his performance so far here in round number 1.
And Jackson's a real warrior. He gets out there every time, sick, whatever, he puts it on the line.
Now I talked about Eugene Jackson during one of our preliminary fights here tonight before we hit the live show involving Tim Lasik, and he and Lasik are just students of the game. I mean, they just absolutely love the Ultimate Fighting Championship in the world.
Great armbar attempts. Really staying on it too.
Trying to close it off. Trying to close it off, and he does.
Nice.
Jeremy Horn wins by submission. That was impressive.
That was really impressive.
Jackson has said in those conversations with Lasik, it is such a chess match in this day and age. One mistake and you're done. One mistake and Jeremy Horn is over. Eugene give him a little jab and a big smile on his face. Great job done by Horn to finish.
Let's look at the replay. He got his knee up on his chest, and he was really controlling him here. And then when Jackson pushed his arm up to keep him away, he threw and went right into it. And you see him, he didn't fall to his back. He kept rolling the whole time, looking for that armbar until he finally set it. And when he was here, that arm straight, he's done.
We are rolling through the year 2000 on UFC Fight Pass, part of Fight Capsule from Extra Rounds. Hey, everybody. I'm TJ DeSantis. And the year 2000 was a very interesting time for the UFC because it was far from the tough boom, but it was kind of a transitional stage. You saw some of the old era fighters giving way to the new era fighters, and we got that coming up next. Former UFC Super Fight champion Dan the Beast Severn taking on an up-and-coming Brazilian prospect at the time. It's hard to say that because, in my mind, he's a legend. But let's take a look at Dan the Beast Severn versus Pedro the Rock Rizzo. It's all part of Fight Capsule here on UFC Fight Pass.
Beast is back at 42 years old. Dan the Beast Severn, one of the greatest wrestlers in the world, to take on one of the top strikers in the game right now. Still the most dangerous striker in the UFC for present day, Pedro the Rock Rizzo. I go back to the glory days, and this is what this sport was based on. Hoist Gracie in some of the spectacular matchups. More so the first one, as Ken and Dan will admit, though, Severn Shamrock back in the good old days.
Those are the foundation of everything we're doing today. Dan Severn is an originator. He helped develop and change the styles that you see fighting in the ring right now. It's a great honor to have him back here competing, 42 years of age, and putting it on the line. That's a stud.
You respect Dan Severn, don't you?
I have huge amounts of respect for him. I respect anybody that steps into that octagon, puts it on the line, heart, spirit, body, everything, and goes for it. And, you know, Dan Severn is one of those guys.
Maurice does it at 38 years old. Now at 42, here comes Dan Severn. He takes on a great striker in Pedro Rizzo.
Yeah, Pedro Rizzo has incredible hands, incredible feet, and even more better, he has better combinations than I think everyone out there. He gets them off, like we saw Kondo doing earlier. He gets them off, and he scores, and he lands, and if he doesn't land a hard shot, he lands 30 or 40 little shots that eventually add up.
Well, frustrating times for Pedro Rizzo, just recently defeated by Kevin Randleman. Told us earlier this week, tonight the most important night of my fight life. Pedro "The Rock" Rizzo is the most accurate and lethal striker the UFC has ever seen. Just ask Tank Abbott. Or Trey Telligman. Tiki, Tsuyoshi Kasaka. The left connects with TK. He's right back to his feet.
Well, that stunned him. There's no doubt. It didn't knock him out, but it definitely stunned him. And
big right.
And that one definitely did it. Wow.
A Valley Judo expert and top student of UFC 7 champion Marco Hughes, Pedro Rizzo has established himself as the newest in a storied line of Brazilians who have dominated in the octagon. A unique combination of jiu-jitsu ground skill and deadly pinpoint accuracy with his fists and his feet. Pedro Rizzo is the evolution of the Brazilian Valley Judo fighter in a 6'1", 230-pound frame. His reward for such success? A meeting with UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Kevin Randleman, at last June UFC 26. The fight started slow, with both men feeling each other out. The brash champion looked content to stand up with the power puncher, and Rizzo maintained his quiet cool throughout the first and second rounds, sitting back and picking his shots, rather than committing to offense. The first minute of the third round saw Rizzo take a nasty, albeit unintentional headbutt, which opened a cut on the bridge of his nose, and Rizzo never recovered. He would later reveal that this was his last memory of the fight. Randleman received the unanimous decision victory, and Pedro Rizzo was left to go back to the drawing board. And as he returns to the octagon tonight, Pedro Rizzo faces the most decorated man in UFC history. A new chapter from a legend, or a passing of the torch. Pedro Rizzo takes on Dan the Beast Severn tonight. One of the sidebars from the matchup with Kevin Randleman is that Marco Hughes was disappointed in Pedro Rizzo's effort. In more than just having your coach and mentor be disappointed, you're talking about a hero displaying disappointment. Pedro has taken that to heart.
Absolutely, and that's his driving force behind this match tonight. He's out there not only to prove to himself, but to his teacher, to his master, to his students, to everyone, what he really is.
You know, it's interesting. We talk about a man who just devastated the UFC world with 4 straight victories, a couple of them with outstanding knockouts. He loses once, and now we're questioning Pedro Rizzo. Should we question him this much?
I don't think so. I just think he had a bad fight. He had a bad break of his nose. He took some really hard shots, and he got disoriented, lost where he was. I think tonight he'll come back and he'll prove who he really is.
Now, we know one thing. Dan Severn is one of the best of all time. Dan the Beast Severn, Coldwater, Michigan. It's a very cold day when an opponent has to meet the Beast. And folks, tonight here in New Orleans, the Beast is back. Dan the Beast Severn is a legend of the Ultimate Fighting Championship and a true pioneer in the sport of mixed martial arts. Flashback to UFC 4, December of 1994, the infancy of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and Dan the Beast Severn makes his debut in the octagon.
Backflip by Severn.
Severn. That's just a straight back suplex. He'll do it again if you see it steps up too hard. Wow! Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. You saw him see him shake his head. Severn's got an arm under the chin. There's the choke.
And a tap out behind the scenes. And a very good performance by Severn.
Those being the days of the tournament, Severn's night would continue against Marcus Fawcett, whom the Beast was able to handle in less than a minute. Next came the finals against Royce Gracie, where Severn controlled throughout, but somehow fell prey to a triangle choke after 16 minutes of dominance.
That's it. Oh! He choked him out. He choked him out.
He returned to UFC 5 and would not be denied. Joe Charles was his first victim, followed by Oleg Taktarov, who received a rude welcome in his first UFC appearance. With the tournament on the line, he faced off against Dave Benito and took out the Canadian in 3 minutes to win his first UFC title. It would not be his last.
He got the submission. Won UFC 5. He came back as a beast, and he won the title.
After a disappointing loss in the super fight at UFC 6, Dan fired back with a vengeance at Ultimate 95. It was the UFC's first Tournament of Champions, and as usual, Severn rolled through the competition, eventually beating Taktarov again, this time for the title. Chalk up another one for the Beast. The UFC 9 super fight featured two legends of the sport settling their score once and for all. Dan Severn versus Ken Shamrock. A sold-out Cobo Arena in Detroit. UFC Super Fight Championship on the line. But it was more chess match than brawl, and neither fighter unleashed their full arsenal. The judge's decision went the way of Severn. The Beast had been crowned once again inside the octagon. UFC 5 champion, Ultimate 95 champion, and now UFC Super Fight champion. Dan Severn had become the most accomplished fighter to ever enter the octagon. Over 95 state, national, and international wrestling titles to his credit. An expert in the arts of Sambo, Judo, and Jiu-Jitsu. A two-time U.S. Olympic team alternate. And still at age 42, one of the most active and successful mixed martial artists in the world today. Dan Severn is an athlete's athlete and a champion's champion. He looks to recapture UFC glory tonight. Dan the Beast Severn, December 94 in Tulsa. Royce Gracie beat him, and now he is back here in the year 2000 to take on Pedro the Rock Rizzo. Rizzo 4-1 in the UFC, 9-1 overall in mixed martial arts. Severn, the only fighter in the history of the Ultimate Fighting Championship to win 3 different UFC titles. He is 9-3 in the UFC overall. And because of the respect that he has earned over the years, Pedro Rizzo will make his way down the walkway with the music blaring in the background first, and right behind him, his mentor, his friend, his idol, Marco Hughes. Pedro Rizzo, the best striker ever to face Dan Severn. And a man who wants a rematch with Kevin Randleman, but he's got a big opponent here first.
He's got a huge opponent, and Pedro has excellent striking, pinpoint accuracy, beautiful combinations, and he's got a great ground game as well. It's a tough match to call.
Frank Shamrock here in the booth with me tonight. Partner Jeff Blatnick working the Olympics. This is going to be a matchup that will gain the winner a gold medal of his own. And Dan Severn knows about championships, if it be in the ultimate fighting, semi-pro football, in Sambo and Greco-Roman freestyle, tough man competitions, the holder of 90 state, national, and international records, titles for Greco-Roman freestyle, Sambo, Judo, 15 years of coach. Says he wants a heavyweight title shot. Extremely experienced, extremely dangerous.
He's coming off some big wins. He's been fighting a lot. He's been really active lately. This is a man who's not been sitting around on his laurels. He's ready to get it on.
He takes on a 4-time Brazilian Muay Thai champion. But I'll tell you what, he started in the infancy of this sport. He has worked through the evolution, and now at 42 years old, born in 1958, he gives away 14 years to Pedro Rizzo. The time has come for a classic confrontation in the heavyweight division. Our title marquee matchup, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of UFC 27. This event will pit two of the finest heavyweight warriors ever to enter the octagon. Beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Hughes Vale Tudo expert with a UFC record of 4-1, with 3 wins by knockout. He is a veteran of Ultimate Brazil, UFC 18, UFC 24, and UFC 26. Standing 6 feet, 1 inch tall, weighing in at 237 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Please welcome back, Pedro, the Rock Hughes. And his opponent, he is a 2-time Olympic wrestling alternate, a Sambo freestyle and Greco-Roman national champion. He is the UFC 5 champion, Ultimate 95 champion, and the UFC 9 Super Fight champion. Standing 6 feet, 2 inches tall, weighing in at 259 pounds. Fighting out of Coldwater, Michigan, he is a true legend of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beast is back. Please welcome Dan the Beast Severn.
Big John was there during the infancy and the evolution. Big John looked at me today and said, the Beast is back, man. He's as excited as any of us in anticipation of what could be another great heavyweight match. Remember, Frank, Pedro wants to try to end it quickly. Let's see.
He's ready to go for it. There's a look of intensity on his face that I've never seen before. Great counter to the takedown. Just turn, toss, and go.
Severn is a wrestler. He always has been, he always will be. Will he be overmatched by a kid who can strike them as well as anyone in the mixed martial arts world today?
Rizzo's throwing him. He's got his beat on him.
Extremely focused and determined. And Pedro was very insightful when we talked to him yesterday, talking about how difficult the last 6 months had been. He'd never lost before.
I saw Pedro's very first professional fight in Brazil and immediately was impressed. Oh, nice head kick. Skimmed the head there. Really close. Got Dan's attention right away with that.
You know, Jeff Blatnick once told me, failure is the greatest time of learning or the time in which you quit.
Oh, powerful inside leg kick. Put him right down.
No quit here tonight in Pedro Rizzo, taking advantage of Dan the Beast Severn early. Severn's got to want to shoot at one point, right?
He's looking for a way in. He's looking for a clean takedown. You see him throwing some fakes and what, but Pedro's coming with a lot of power. You can tell Dan's really concerned about it. Oh,
huge kick. And the knee goes down. The knee goes down.
Right to the knee. Right to the knee. Oh, powerful, powerful kick. Right to the knee.
Pedro Rizzo once and twice, and he finishes it quickly. And a great show of respect as he took out the knee of Dan the Beast Severn. Becky Levy, one of the greatest female fighters in the world, coming in to check on Dan the Beast Severn, and it is over. Pedro the Rock Rizzo promised early intensity, and he delivers a shot that might have popped something in the right knee of Dan Severn. We could hear it.
He kicked him right on the inside of his knee. You see on the replay right here, he loads up, kind of fakes with the hands a little bit, and he comes way in on that knee, just right on the inside of the tendons. You see it flop around there with no weight. That hurt. Immediately, you see the pain register. Oh, my.
Exactly what I told you. I said.
You see it from another angle. He just steps in deep and catches it right on the inside of the knee. 2 in a row.
And that was it. So the Beast is back, but not for as long as he had anticipated. Watch the force in which he uses it. Boom. That's the Muay Thai background right there. That's what Pedro's built on.
Yeah, he's got a very, very strong base in Muay Thai. You know, he trained in Chikarichi Gym in Holland. He's trained with the best kickboxers in the world. He is a phenomenal kickboxer with tons and tons of power. You saw an example of it right there. Just crushed him with that inside kick.
You know, it's interesting. I asked John Peretti, for a guy, and I talked to you too about it, Frank, for a guy who had only lost once, was he being unfairly criticized, unfairly questioned? I guess maybe he answered some of those critics here.
I thought so. You know, I thought he had a bad night. And unfortunately, you're only as good as your last show. You're only as good as your last movie. You know what I mean? He puts it on the line. He had a bad night, but he cleaned himself up tonight, and he's definitely at the top of the game.
Yeah, well, John Peretti had talked about he wasn't certain that the Beast would be able to handle Pedro Rizzo, and Pedro Rizzo jumping up in celebration, and man, what a relief.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute 32 seconds of the first round, we have a winner by referee stoppage. Pedro the Rock Hughes.
Maybe taking one step closer to seeing Kevin Randleman again, but Randleman will have to get past Couture in November. Right now, though, it's Pedro Rizzo's moment.
Oh, let's check that replay again. Right on the inside. He knew he had that power shot, and he got it twice in a row. You see the redness on Dan's leg, just sunk it in deep.
Oh, we are wrapping up the year 2000 here on Fight Capsule from UFC Fight Pass and Extra Rounds. Hey, everybody. I'm TJ DeSantis. We started this thing a while ago with Jens Pulver, and I always like the word bookend, so we're going to bookend it with Jens Pulver. From front to back, we start with Pulver, we finish with Pulver, and Jens gets a huge finish. One of the most impactful finishes of his career as we see him take on John Lewis. Until next time, this has been Fight Capsule from Extra Rounds right here on UFC Fight Pass.
Jens Pulver to take on John Lewis. John Lewis, very experienced, returning against the very explosive Jens Pulver here tonight. Powerhouse Jens Pulver was already one of the most respected lightweight fighters in the world when he made his octagon debut at UFC 22. Taking on Alfonso Alcaraz in a preliminary matchup, Pulver dominated the first round, but was unable to put his opponent away. The second round would see Pulver more on the defensive, and the fight was ruled a draw. He jumped into the main draw at UFC 24, taking on Frank Shamrock student David Velasquez. Although Velasquez was game, the fight was all Pulver. He scored with his trademark left hand from the stand-up and ground position, prompting the referee to stop the fight in the third round. At UFC 26, Pulver took on Brazilian Jean Hawk in a highly anticipated fight. The match did not live up to its hype, but Pulver did tally enough points to receive the unanimous decision. 2-0-1 in the octagon, Jens Pulver returns tonight to face his toughest challenge yet. Mixed martial arts veteran John Lewis is one of the most feared 150-pound fighters in the world. With a reputation that preceded him, Lewis made his UFC debut at UFC 22, taking on jiu-jitsu expert Lowell Anderson. Lewis maintained control of the fight throughout and scored with a flurry of knees and kicks that caused his opponent's corner to throw in the towel 18 seconds into the third and final round. Over a year since he last entered the octagon, John Lewis returns to the UFC tonight. Now, we think this one's going to get underway very quickly here tonight at the Trump Taj Mahal, because both of these fighters in the bantamweight division here tonight want to throw punches. It starts with this man, John Lewis, 32 years old, born in Hawaii, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he is a man who is extremely versatile, extremely dangerous, and he is set to go here tonight. And the first time in a long time that he comes into the UFC.
Strong background in jiu-jitsu, but he also likes to bang. He's not afraid at all to stand out there, use knees, much like Muay Thai. And, of course, his striking, punching power. But he's long. He's going to enjoy a reach over Pulver, and I think that's where he's got to take advantage of that opportunity.
The jiu-jitsu skills are well known. He has the height and weight advantage. He definitely has a physique that is admirable to anyone who has done anything
in physical fitness. Mixed martial arts record of 7-3-3. He's much taller than the very powerful Jens Pulver. Both of these fighters not only want to strike, Jeff, both of these fighters think they can win with strikes. Jens Pulver is interesting. He's been working out with bigger, taller competitors in the Miletich camp. He's in Davenport now. He's from Seattle, and it's a very smart technique coming in to face the very dangerous John Lewis.
You said it, Mike. I mean, if you're going to prepare for an opponent, you make it as realistic as possible in the practice room so that the skills you need to train and the reactions you need to train are brought about and nurtured. And that's exactly what Pulver's done. Miletich again. You know, he's a smart guy. People think he might be the smartest corner man, one of the better trainers in MMA.
So a UFC record of 2-0-1 for Jens Pulver, who fought back in June in Cedar Rapids. Pulver is 5'7", 155 pounds. Both of these bantamweights coming in at 155. That was the cutoff. He is 7 years younger than the jiu-jitsu expert John Lewis. A historical evening here tonight in Atlantic City, New Jersey, to officially get it underway, working his 20th UFC. Here's our veteran voice, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Mark Rosinger Ennis Arena, located where the boardwalk meets the sea at beautiful Trump Taj Mahal Resort Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Tonight, SCG Sports presents UFC 28. The greatest mixed martial arts event of its kind in the world today, where only the greatest fighters fight in the world's ultimate proving ground, the Octagon. This event tonight is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, with Mr. Larry Hazard, Commissioner, Mr. Gerald Gormley Jr., Board Chairman, Mr. Stephen Katz, Board Member, Mr. Francis Schiller, Board Member, and Mr. John Greco, Deputy Commissioner. And now, the judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the great UFC fans in attendance are ready, and the millions of UFC fans watching around the world are ready. Because now, it's time to begin the Ultimate Fighting Championship! Let's begin UFC 28! Our first fight begins with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert with a mixed martial arts record of 7-3-3 and a UFC record of 1-0. Standing 6 feet, weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Please welcome bantamweight John Lewis. And his opponent, he is a Miletich Fighting Systems team member with a UFC record of 2-0-1. Standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of Davenport, Iowa. Please welcome Jens Little Evil Pulver. And our referee for this event is Mr. Mario Yamasaki.
Well, a regular Mario Yamasaki, native of Sao Paulo, Brazil, now has 4 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academies, including one right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Set to get us underway in the bantamweight category.
Well, Pulver says he's going to keep it on the feet unless Lewis is tearing him up.
Ready?
So I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a great fight. Bantamweight, 155 pounds.
2 guys who love to strike, 2 guys who would like to see this fight finished because of a big combination.
Whoa, that's it.
It did not take long at all.
Left hook.
Jens Pulver, the big left hand. He lands it into John Lewis. My goodness. My goodness. How about that?
That didn't take long. A lazy jab. Pulver, left hook right through it. Nailed him solid.
The
Side of the head.
eagle soars again.
That was for you, Dustin.
wanted a strike, they did. The doctors attending to our fighter, John Lewis. Safety always, as we've talked about before, the ultimate #1 priority here in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. But what a shot. Boom!
Yeah, very clean. Knew what he wanted to do, probably studied films of Lewis. That lazy jab there, bang, right over the top.
Well, he wanted to get inside. We knew that because of the reach. He was able to get inside, and man, I'll tell you, for a little guy, he pumps a big-time punch. Boom. First round knockout, Jens Pulver victorious.